Let us start with this prayer for invoking auspiciousness. Om Ajnanaatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunlitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. I'm just requesting everyone to mute themselves. So if you are muted, then it will be easier and there will be no disturbances in between. So today we are going to start chapter number 2. We have completed chapter 1, which was observing the army on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And we have, I think most of you have taken the quiz. So that means the summary or the recap has already been done. So what we are going to do is we are just going to start directly on chapter 2 today. So chapter 2 is named by Srila Prabhupada as Contents of the Gita Summarized. This is a long chapter. So this is the second largest chapter of Bhagavad Gita. As we all know, those who have taken the quiz, there are 700 verses, there are 18 chapters. The 18th chapter is the largest, longest chapter, which has 78 verses. And this chapter has is the second largest, which is it has 72 verses in total. So we saw that in the first chapter, that Arjuna has been lamenting, and he's going to continue his lamentation. And in the first chapter, he has given 4 reasons for not fighting. So we saw that the army was observed by both sides, like Duryodhana has seen, Dhritarashtra has seen, Duryodhana has seen, Dhritarashtra of course has seen from the eyes of Sanjay, and Sanjay is explaining everything to him. But after Duryodhana has seen, then Arjuna has seen, and the compassion has come upon him. So he has given 4 reasons of not fighting in chapter 1. He's going to give one more reason in this chapter. But even before we start looking at it, we can see that this chapter, even though in Sanskrit, the name of this chapter is Sankhya Yoga. But Srila Prabhupada has given the name in English as Contents of the Gita Summarized. The reason is that in these 72 verses, Lord Krishna is, of course, he's going to start speaking from verse number 11 onwards. He speaks verse number 2 and 3 as well, but from 11 onwards, verse number 11 onwards, he starts speaking the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So in these verses from 11 to 72, we will see that Lord Krishna actually touches upon many different topics. He talks about Sakam Karma Yoga, then he talks about Nishkama Karma Yoga. He also speaks about Jnana Yoga, and he gives a glimpse of Bhakti Yoga. And because he has touched upon so many topics in this one chapter, that is why Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that this is like a contents of the Gita, and Krishna is giving in a very summary format in the beginning. So let us start. Let us start with verse number 1. Sanjay uvacha tam tatha kripaya vishtam ashrupurna kulekshanam vishidantamidam vakyam uvacha madhusudanaha. Who wants to read the translation? Yeah, Sannivas Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words.
Yeah. So 3 things are mentioned here about Arjuna's condition. That he is Kripaya Vishtam, Ashrupurna Kulekshanam, and Vishidantam. So 3 things have happened. So he is full of compassion, his mind is depressed, and his eyes are full of tears. And looking at this condition of Arjuna, then Krishna has become uh, compassionate on him, and he decided to speak something. But his name here has been mentioned as Madhusudana. So Srila Prabhupada explains in this beautiful purport that even in the first line itself, first two lines are so powerful lines. So let us read the first two lines. Who wants to read the first two lines of this wonderful purport? Yeah, Tripti, go ahead.
Material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization.
Yeah, that's enough. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that the compassion, the so-called compassion that we generally have, is generally for the material body. But that compassion is not real. He's suggesting that the real compassion that we should have, that should be for eternal soul. And when we have compassion for the eternal soul, that is self-realization, because that is when we realize the real self. We are identifying ourselves with this body, but when we start identifying ourselves with the spirit soul, that is, and we have compassion on it. When we have compassion on the body, Arjuna wanted to do something for the body of his relatives and for himself as well. But when we have compassion on the spirit soul, then we will want to do something for the spirit soul. And that is self-realization. And here, Lord Krishna has been known or called as Madhusudana. Madhusudana means Madhu was a demon, and then Krishna killed that demon, Sudana. That is why he was called Madhusudana. So seeing that like he is called as Madhusudana, because just like he has killed the demon called Madhu, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that he is going to kill the doubts which have come in the mind of Arjuna. He has so many doubts for, and he is giving so many reasons for not fighting. So Madhusudana is going to speak, and he's going to remove those doubts from Arjuna's mind. So just by these few things that we discussed, we can learn so many points. But Srila Prabhupada in this purport also gives a very wonderful analogy. He says, compassion for the dress of the drowning man is senseless. This is an interesting analogy. So suppose somebody is drowning in the water, and someone says that, oh, someone is drowning, I want to actually go and save this person. And he suddenly jumps into the water, and somehow or the other reaches that person. And when he gets hold of that person, he just gets the shirt in his hand. And without worrying about whether the person is still in the shirt or not, he just brings the shirt back on the shore and says that I have saved it, I have saved him, I have saved him. But actually he had just saved the dress of a drowning man. The drowning man is dead, he is gone, and you have just got the dress. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless. There is no point in just saving the dress of the drowning person. So we should be actually saving the real person. So similarly, the person who is actually in the nescience, like in this material world, if you just try to save his body and do not do anything for the spirit soul, then it is like it will be called senseless. So we need to understand that we are the spirit soul and we are not this body, and we have to actually save the spirit soul. And how we can do it, Krishna is going to enlighten. But even before we go there, Arjuna is going to get little bit a dose of chastisement from Krishna, but he is actually going to use some joking but still strong words to wake up Arjuna from this slumber that he's in, and he's saying that I don't want to fight. So let us see what we can learn from this first verse, and then we can see what Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. So the doubts in any doubts that we have in our mind, we should try as much as possible to clarify, to get those doubts clarified. And we should try to do it as soon as possible. We should not be waiting for a long time. The reason is, when we have doubts, the mind actually keeps working on those doubts. And just like a balloon, if we start putting air in the balloon, it keeps becoming bigger and bigger. So similarly, if the doubts are not addressed as soon as possible, the doubts are going to become bigger and bigger and bigger. And our faith will reduce. So that is why we have these sessions where there is an opportunity for everyone to ask questions. So anytime during the session as well, if you have any questions, just like in the last few sessions that we have done, you can raise your hand. If you have questions, we can then just try to answer them. And that way, what is happening is that automatically the doubts will get clarified very quickly. And that way our faith will improve, faith will become stronger and stronger. So there is a question that has been put. Generally, I'm not watching the chat, Rajiv Prabhu. So it is better that you can raise your hand and ask that question. But this question will get answered when Krishna starts speaking. But that will probably be covered in the next session when he talks about the spirit soul and not the body. And there are 20 whole verses that Krishna is going to speak to answer this question. So let's park this question for the next session, if you don't mind. Okay, thank you. So we should get our doubts clarified as soon as possible, and otherwise they will become bigger and bigger, and it will create more problems for us, and our faith will reduce. So this is very important. The other point is that the compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization. That Srila Prabhupada has mentioned. It doesn't mean that compassion, we should not have any compassion for the body. Of course, if someone is in trouble, and if you are able to do something for them, we should help them at the on the material platform as well. If you are able to help them, help their bodies somehow or the other, then we should help them. But at the same time, we should not be neglecting the eternal soul. And if you are able to help the body and soul, both, fantastic. So that is what Srila Prabhupada is trying to remind us, that we are not this body, but the spirit soul, and we should have compassion for the eternal soul as well. Now let us look at what is happening, what Krishna is going to speak in verse number 2 and 3. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutasva Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupasthitham Anaryajushtyamasvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. I'm going to read the third verse as well, and we will read the translation together. Klaibyam masmagama partha naitatvam naitattvaya upapadyate shudram hridaya daurbalyam yakto tishtha parantapa. Who wants to read the translations for second and third verse? Yeah, Dimple Mataji. Yeah, Dimple Mataji, please go ahead. You're on mute, Dimple Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. For the second verse, the Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all benefiting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planet, but to infamy."
Yeah, it is not at all befitting. Befitting means it is not suitable. It doesn't suit the person like you, as what Krishna is saying. Okay, let's read the third translation as well.
Okay. The third one is, "O son of Pratha, do not yield to this degrading importance. It does not become you, give you such pity, weakness of heart, and arise. O charioteer of the enemy.
Chastiser
Oh,
of the enemy. So he's
sorry.
saying, give up such petty weakness and petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. So here, the first time we can see this verse has started with Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So this is the first verse Lord Krishna has spoken in Bhagavad Gita. Of course, in the first chapter, where Arjuna said that please take my chariot in between the two armies. At that time, Krishna took the chariot in between the two armies and said, "Behold, O Partha, all these Kurus who have assembled here." So at that time he had said, but it had come in a verse where Krishna was speaking like this. So, but this is the first time there is a full verse. There is a full verse where Shri Krishna has spoken, and it has started with Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So if you see this purport, Srila Prabhupada is actually emphasizing on who is Bhagavan. And this is the first thing that we should understand about this verse, that it starts with Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, that Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna has said something. So what is this word Bhagavan? When we talk about Bhagavan, actually this Bhagavan word comes from this word Bhaga. Bhaga means opulence, and Bhagavan means possessor of all opulences. So this is the meaning that we should understand. So what are these opulences? So in Vishnu Puran, there is a description of, there are 6 main opulences. And this is all given in the purport. I'm just giving you a summary of what is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in the purport. If you go to around third paragraph, where the paragraph starts, the Sanskrit word Bhagwan is explained by the great authority. Actually, let's read that. Who wants to read that paragraph? If you can find the paragraph, the Sanskrit word Bhagwan, and then please read that paragraph. Ram Mohan Prabhu, you had raised your hand earlier. You can unmute yourself and speak. I can't see you. Your camera is not on.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Sanskrit word Bhagavan is explained by the great authority Parasara Muni, the father of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva. The Supreme Personality who possesses all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation is called Bhagavan. There are many persons who are very rich, very powerful, very beautiful, very famous, very learned, and very much detached, but no one can claim this. No one can claim that he possesses all riches, all strength, etc. entirely. Only Krishna can claim this because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No living entity, including Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Narayana, can possess opulences as fully as Krishna. Therefore, it is concluded in the Brahma Samhita by Lord Brahma himself that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one is equal to or above him. He is the premier Lord or Bhagavan known as Govinda, and he is the supreme cause of all causes. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karana. There are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagavan, but Krishna is the supreme because none can excel him. He is the supreme person and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the premier Lord Govinda and the causes of all causes. Brahma Samhita 5.1.
Yeah. So as we can see here, there are 6 opulences which are mentioned. And the verse from Vishnu Puran, it says, Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashasriya jnana vairagyashchaiva shannam bhaga iti gana. So there are 6 opulences. Aishwarya. Aishwarya means wealth. Then viryasya. Viryasya means strength. Yasha. Yasha means fame. Shriya means beauty. And jnana means knowledge. And vairagya means renunciation. So these are the 6 opulences which are mentioned. And Srila Prabhupada is saying that someone, as the pictures can see, where you can see some of the pictures here, someone may be powerful, someone may be famous, someone may be beautiful, someone may be knowledgeable or wealthy or renounced, but no one can claim that they are all powerful, all wealthy, all famous, all beautiful, all knowledgeable, or all renounced for all time entirely. Even the richest person in this world cannot claim that he owns the wealth of the second richest person, isn't it? So there is first richest person, and then there's a second and a third. But the first richest person, even though he's so wealthy, he still cannot claim that he also owns the wealth of the second richest person as well. But Lord Krishna, he's Lakshmipati. He owns the entire wealth of everything that is there. All the wealth is owned by him. He's all powerful. He has all strength. When he was just 7 years old, he lifted the entire Govardhan hill, on one finger of his left hand. That also the weakest finger, the pinky finger. He's all famous. Even some small pastimes that he does, and he steals some butter, and that becomes so famous, and people sing so many songs of that particular pastime. He's beautiful. He's all beautiful. In fact, the name Krishna itself, the definition of the name Krishna is Sarva Akarshayati iti Krishna. Krishna means all attractive. So he's so beautiful and so attractive that he attracts everyone's attention. The knowledge, as you know, Bhagavad Gita was spoken by him. So it was not that the night before he was referring to all the Upanishads and all the Vedas, saying that, oh, tomorrow Arjuna is going to ask me to speak. So at that time, I will have to I have to speak all this essence of all the Upanishads. So I better quickly do the recap. Just like I do. I have to actually speak on this for 1 hour or so. So I have to read the Bhagavad Gita. I have to read what Srila Prabhupada has said, and then prepare this PowerPoint presentation. So I have to spend effort. But Krishna, Arjuna asked a question, and he spoke the 700 verses impromptu. And the scholars of this world sometimes take one verse of Bhagavad Gita and do PhD in it. So these are so powerful verses, and so much knowledge is filled in each of these verses. But he just spoke very impromptu. Then renunciation. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is full of all these opulences, but still he is acting as a chariot driver for his friend. That is showing his renunciation. So we may have, like all of us in this material world, we may have some little opulences here and there, but Krishna is the possessor of all 6 opulences. That is why he is called Bhagavan. So Sri Bhagavan Uvacha means the person who is having all the 6 opulences full for the full life, like entirely. Yes, Raju Prabhu?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
These opulences are measure of, from our materialistic side. If we are talking about Bhagwan, wouldn't the measures be different? I don't know what the measures would be, but these are all human measures, right? Wealth, beauty, strength, renunciation, all human measures. And if it's Lakshmipati, I've known Lakshmipati to be Vishnu. How does that tie in?
Yeah, good question. So Bhagavan, this is the opulences. What kind of opulences, or what is the importance of opulences? First of all, opulences are there which attracts us to a person. For example, why someone is attracted to these people on the slide, like for example, Sachin Tendulkar. He's a very good cricketer, or Dara Singh, who was a wrestler, and he was very powerful. Or even Einstein, or Madhuri Dixit here, or Mahatma Gandhi here. So all of them, we are attracted to them because of some opulences that they have. So he is Bhagavan because he is having all these opulences in full, so that we can get attracted to him. And because we are attracted by all these things, that is why these opulences are important. But there are 4 other things that I'm going to mention on the next slide, which are not materialistic thing as such, or not the opulences, but there are different opulences. Four other opulences I am coming to. So that is why. So these 6 opulences are still important because Krishna wants us to get attracted towards him so that we can follow him. That is why these 6 opulences are mentioned in Vishnu Puran. And about Lakshmipati and Vishnu, let us park that question for now. Over a period of time, when we are talking about the Bhagavad Gita, I'll explain this further, the difference between Krishna and Vishnu, if that is okay. Devika Mataji, do you have some question? Okay, fine. So the 4 other things that actually specifies who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagwan, that what is the definition of God? So God is one who's source of everything. He's a supreme controller, he's supreme proprietor, and supreme enjoyer. So these are the 4 important factors which defines God. What is source of everything? A person who's source of everything, he's the cause of all causes, and he has no other cause. That is, if you actually start finding out who has created this, like who's your creator, so you go to your parents, then you further like that, and finally you come to a person who you cannot find any creator, and that person is God. You have to keep tracing upwards like this, and then when you find a person who has no creator, but he is the source of everything, that person is God. And then someone will say that, oh, how can I believe that there is some person who has no source? But scientifically as well, we believe. When the science tells us there is a law of conservation of energy, which says that the matter and energy cannot be created or destroyed. So when science is telling us that the energy or matter cannot be created, that we understand and that we agree. So if the matter and energy cannot be created, then why do we need a creator for a God? Of course, God can also have no creator, and he is the creator of everything. Then he is a supreme controller. A person who is a supreme controller is God. So we cannot control a bit. Even in our body, we cannot control the urges of the body. If there is a nature's call, you have to go. You cannot stop it. Sometimes we are controlling little bit, like we may be able to control a family, or we may be owning a business, so we may be controlling that company, or sometimes somebody is controlling the entire country, or like in the local councils there are MPs or whatever. So we have certain control, but God has full control on everything. So that person who has supreme control on everything, that person can be called God. Then who's supreme proprietor? So supreme proprietor, for example, we own a house, we own some land, but do we actually own the house and land? Because when we die, somebody else owns it, right? So that means, even though we are saying that we are owning this land or owning this house, we are really just the tenants or caretakers for a particular period of time. And once that is done, like once our lifetime is finished, somebody else is going to be the caretaker of this house or land. So we are not the proprietors of anything. So but Krishna is the supreme proprietor, and we will see there are some verses that we are going to quote, and based on that we can see. There was, I know Rajiv Prabhu, you have raised your hand, but let me finish this point and I'll come to your question. So there was, there's a story that I'm telling. So there was a king who was very materialistic, and he was only focusing on accumulating wealth, and he was eating, mating, sleeping, defending, and he was not using his higher intelligence for anything else. So one day a sadhu thought that let me teach a lesson to this person. And he visited the king, and the king, of course, he welcomed the sadhu and said that, what is the cause? Why have you come to see me? So the sadhu says that, looking at you, I have a good news and a bad news for you. So he said, okay, fine. Tell me, what are the news that you have? So the sadhu says, unfortunately, the bad news is that you are going to die very soon. But the good news is that you are going to go to heaven. He said, okay, fine. Okay, it's a bad news that I'm going to die soon, but fine. I'm going to go to heaven, so it is a better place than here. So I have no problem. But he says that I further have some bad news and good news for you. So he said, what is the bad news and what is the good news? He says that in heaven, there has been a population explosion. So not everyone is getting the right, like, proper place to live. But the good news is there is a palace reserved for you, a very good palace reserved for you. I said, oh, that's good. There is a bad news. There's a population explosion, but at least I'm going to have a beautiful, good, big palace. He said, but there is still a bad news and good news for you. I said, what happened now? What is the problem again? He said that there are big mosquitoes in heaven. But the good news is your palace is going to have some mosquito nets. He said, oh, fine, fine. So I'm going to heaven. I'm going to have a big palace. There are mosquitoes, but I'll still have mosquito nets, so there is no problem. But the sadhu says that there is still bad news for you. So the bad news is that the mosquito nets have big holes in it. But the good news is that you can stitch the holes. So I said, okay, fine. So I'm going to go to the heaven. There is going to be a palace reserved for me. There are mosquitoes, but I don't have to worry because there are mosquito nets for me. And okay, that's fine. There are holes, but I can stitch it. So he said, now what should I do? He said that the only thing that you have to do is that when you finished, like when you die from here and you are going to heaven, you just make sure that you carry a needle there, because in heaven there are no needles. So that is the only thing that you have to do. And saying this, the sadhu leaves. And then king thinks for a moment, and he's thinking, hey, this is not possible. And he runs behind the sadhu and says that, what is the point? You're saying all of this and I have to take a needle from here, but you know very well, I cannot even take a needle from here. So he said, that is my point as well. That you're earning, you're spending all your life for accumulating wealth. But when you die, you will not be even able to take a small needle with you. So why are you wasting your life like this? You have to actually think about your future, a long-term future. Not only look after your body, but think about the soul and what can you take away with you when you die. That is where you have to invest your time. And of course, Bhagavad Gita will tell us what to do for that. And then the person who is a supreme enjoyer. The supreme enjoyer, whoever is the actually proprietor, he or she is going to be the enjoyer. For example, if you own a restaurant, then there are many people who are working in the restaurant, like there are waiters, cleaners, cashiers, and in a way that you may see that the cashier is taking the money. Waiter is like the chef is cooking, waiter is serving, the cleaner is cleaning. There are so many things which are happening. But finally, at the end of the day, the owner is going to come and take all the money. Whatever is the earning that is there, he is going to enjoy. It is not that the cashier or the waiter or cleaner is going to say that, hey, I have done all this work, I am going to get all this money. They are going to get their wages, but the profit of the restaurant goes to the proprietor. He is going to be the enjoyer. Similarly, here, because Krishna is the source of everything, he's the controller, he's the proprietor, of course, he's also going to be the supreme enjoyer. And the servants are also enjoying. For example, the restaurant, all these people who are who are working in the restaurant, they are also enjoyers. They are also going to eat at the restaurant. They are also going to get their wages. But for that to happen, they need to remain connected with the employer. If they remain connected to the employer, they are also going to enjoy. Similarly, if we are also dependent enjoyers, and if we remain connected to the Supreme Lord, then we will enjoy. Otherwise, we will, like, the enjoyment will stop. So in Bhagavad Gita itself is mentioned that Krishna, and of course other scriptures also mention that Krishna is the source of everything. He's the supreme controller, he's the supreme proprietor, he's the supreme enjoyer. When we go to the 10th chapter, we will see that it is said, Aham Sarvasya Prabho. Krishna is saying that all these material and spiritual worlds are coming from me. That means he's the source of everything. In the 9th chapter and 10th verse, Krishna says that Maya Dhakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. That everything actually in this material world is controlled by the Prakriti, or material nature, or Maya we call. But it is said that Maya Dhakshena Prakriti, that this material nature acts under my guidance. So he's the supreme controller of everything. And he's the supreme proprietor. It is said that Isha Vasham Idam Sarvam, in Ishopanishad, first verse. It is said that he is the Lord Krishna is the supreme proprietor of everything. And in the 5th chapter, when we go, in the last verse, it is mentioned, 29th verse, that Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So he is the enjoyer. Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. All these yajna and the austerities that anyone is doing, that Krishna is the Bhoktaram. He is the one who's getting everything. He's the Bhokta of all of that. So that is how, and we will actually talk about all these 4 aspects when we go further in Bhagavad Gita and when those appropriate verses come. But this is just because this is the first verse where it is mentioned, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. That is why we are giving a short glimpse, and just like Srila Prabhupada is talking about who's Bhagavan, and we have covered that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Bhagavan. And why we should understand it? So that we can directly worship to him. We can direct our worship to him. Currently, we are very confused. And when 7th chapter and the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita comes, we will see what is the opinion of Bhagavad Gita of the people who are worshipping the other devatas, other Devi Devatas, and why it is recommended that we should worship Krishna. But here, at this point in time, we should just understand that Bhagavad Gita is suggesting that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the source of everything. He's the Supreme Controller, Supreme Proprietor, Supreme Enjoyer. He's the possessor of all 6 opulences, and we should worship him. Okay, Rajiv Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Very, very good analogies. I think I might also use an analogy to ask my question.
Sure. Please go ahead.
If Krishna is the source of everything, supreme controller, so let's take an analogy of someone's writing the source code, right, for this entire creation. If someone's written the source code for the entire creation, and if the source code itself has defects and bugs, shouldn't the person, or shouldn't the coder, developer, debug it? Because we've got so many things, atrocities happening in the world, right, which of no fault of someone, right, gets wrapped in it, be it natural disaster or someone born with deformities, or mentally challenged from birth, which is not no fault of their own. And if we've got a Bhagwan or a God who's the supreme controller, why are things going out of control in a creation? But I'm not saying the things are going totally out of whack. The planet's still spinning really well. We've got the moon cycles, everything's quite good. So, but we still have got so many of these bugs. So shouldn't the supreme controller be debugging it themselves?
Yeah, very good question. This is a big topic in itself. And I can give 5 or 6 hours of seminar on this topic of why bad things are happening to good people. And this is actually the topic that you're talking about, is of karma. So it is not that that there are bugs in the creation. It is not that some good people are suffering unnecessarily. This actually conception comes because we are not understanding that we are not this body but spirit souls. And the spirit soul has taken many lifetimes before as well. And the karma that we are carrying is not only the karma that we have done in this lifetime, but there are many reactions of the karma which were not possible to give you at that particular point in time. And that actually, the weight of all that we are carrying, or the burden of all these karmic reactions we are carrying currently in this lifetime as well. And sometimes when we actually see that someone is born intelligent or someone is born not very intelligent, someone is born beautifully but someone is not so beautiful, so all of these are happening based on the karmic reaction or the destiny that we call, that is from the past. But everyone is actually enjoying or suffering their own karmic reactions. So this law of karma is very difficult to understand, but there are, of course, there are various different principles that we can understand. I have recently given this seminar in our in-person classes. If you are interested, I can actually share those videos with you. There are 3 videos of probably 1.5 to 2 hours each. So probably you will have to hear that to understand this properly. But in short, these are not the defects. Everything that has been created by Krishna is perfectly created. And that perfection, we need to just understand how it is perfect. For example, I'll give you some simple thing, that everyone in this material world is trying to enjoy something. And they are trying to control something. But there are so many controllers. You are a controller, I am a controller. In your house, your children are controller, your wife is controller. Everyone is trying to be a controller. Even in the outside world as well, there are so many people who are trying to be controllers and enjoyers. And some people do not want to actually put a lot of effort and want to enjoy. And they, sometimes a thief or a robber comes, and whatever is your hard-earned wealth, they just rob in the matter of 10-15 minutes. Now, if they have done that, shouldn't there be a law by which we should, like these people should be punished? Of course, otherwise, if there are no police or no judge or no law system in a particular country, then people wouldn't want to actually stay in that country, because then there is no protection that they are going to receive from the government. Similarly, just to avoid these problems, Lord Krishna has also created his own law, and he enforces that law, and that law is called law of karma. So if you do something good, you're going to get good reaction. If you do something bad, you're going to get some bad reaction. But there are also some activities which are given in Bhagavad Gita, which are called akarma, which doesn't give good or bad reaction. And in fact, they can also clear the reactions of your past good and bad activities. And basically, these are called different kinds of yogas, like karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, ashtanga yoga. All these yogas are nothing but akarma activities, and they will remove, or they will not create any new good or bad results, but they will also wipe off some of your past activities. And that is how we have to actually, empty our bank balance of karma. When our bank balance of karma is completely emptied, when your account is completely zeroed, at that time we can go back to the spiritual world. But till the time we keep creating the reactions for us, we have to remain in this material world to either enjoy the good reactions or suffer the bad reactions. So this is how it is happening. Is that making sense, Rajiv Prabhu?
A little bit. I have a lot more questions coming out as well as you were sharing the answer. Is, why write the source code in the first place? Why creation?
Oh, that is a good point as well. So the creation was done for our own enjoyment again. I'll give you another simple example. So suppose when your children grow up, so currently they are all listening to you when they are young, and you are the controller of the house. But when they start growing up at that point in time, they have their own mindset and they want to actually be the controllers. They want to do it in a particular way. But then the parents say that, okay, this house, you have to actually follow my rules. But if you want to actually create your own rules and not follow my rules, then better go and stay somewhere else. And the parents may be like, for example, the Indian parents will be compassionate and they'll say, okay, fine. Even though you are being rebellious and you want to actually create your own rules, I'll help you. And here is some money. You can buy your own house or rent your own house, and then you can stay there. So what has happened is, even though we love our children, the children at one particular point in time would want to enjoy separately from us. And instead of actually keeping them bound with us, that you must stay with us, it is natural that the parents will say that, okay, fine. You want to enjoy separately from me? Fine. I'll make an arrangement so that you will be able to do that. So similarly, Lord Krishna and we were staying together. So we were actually we were serving the Supreme Lord, but somehow or the other, we wanted to be the separate enjoyer. We wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. Just like that other example that I was talking about, that till the time we are connected to the Supreme Lord, we can enjoy with him. Like that restaurant, the people who are working in the restaurant, if they were actually working for that employer, then they can get the facilities from him. But if you want to enjoy separately, then the employer will say, okay, fine, you don't want to be under my control, then fine, you can go somewhere else and work there. So Krishna has done like that. We were part of the spiritual world, but we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. So Krishna said, okay, fine, I will create a material world for you. But because there are so many of you who want to be the enjoyer, controllers, and proprietors, so I will create some rules for you. I'll create some laws so that you will be able to enjoy without disturbing others. And that is how we have come here. But he's also very merciful, just like if there are children who are facing some trouble and finally they say that, okay, parents, father, please take me back. I cannot pay my bills. I am in trouble. I have had enough. I'm thinking that I cannot enjoy separately from you. Please take me back. Of course, the parents will say that, okay, fine, you can come back and stay with us. Similarly, Lord Krishna is waiting for us. He's waiting that when we will turn towards him and say that, oh, Krishna, I want to come back. And even he doesn't stop there. He actually gives the scriptures by which we can understand how we can go back. Not only he gives scriptures, sometimes he sends his pure devotees so that he can claim us back. Who can explain the scriptures, who can explain what is the ideal behavior, how can we be the devotees. And even if that is not enough, sometimes he comes himself to show that these are some of the pastimes that we do in spiritual world. You are part of it. And now you can also be, you can come back and you can also be the part of these pastimes eternally. And you don't have to then suffer in this material world. So that is how it has happened. It is not that he has just created this because he was sitting idle. He was thinking that, oh, I'm getting bored. Let me create this material world and put all these people here to suffer. No, the reason that he created was that we wanted to enjoy separately from him. And he has made the facility out of his compassion for us so that we can try to enjoy separately from him.
But where were we before the entire creation that he had to create?
No, we were part of the spiritual world. So we are currently in the material world, but we were part of the spiritual world. And I think there is more details which are coming a little later in Bhagavad Gita, which will explain this material world, spiritual world concept and how big, how small it is, and where were we. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Give solace. Solution, I think, will come later on.
Yes. How do we go back is coming. That is why Bhagavad Gita is written.
Thank you.
Okay. So let us move ahead. But before moving ahead, what Krishna is mentioning here. So we can see in this verse that Krishna is encouraging. He's saying that you should give up this petty weakness of your heart, and you should fight. And someone will say that, oh, why is God asking Arjuna to fight? God should establish peace in the world. But actually, he's trying to establish peace by asking Arjuna to fight. Because if Arjuna doesn't fight, of course, Duryodhana is going to win the war. And Duryodhana is on the adharma's side. So if the king himself is not following the principles of religion, and he's against the principles of religion, then that adharma will continue into his subjects as well. Because it is said, Yatha Raja, Tatha Praja. So just like a king is, his subjects are also going to follow him. So for establishing dharma and peaceful environment, this war was required. And that is why Lord Krishna is cheering up Arjuna to fight. Because violence, when it is applied properly, can establish peace. Just like the soldiers on the border of the country, they are fighting for keeping peace. The police, sometimes they have to actually use violence to catch the thief, catch the criminals, and they have to put them into jail. And sometimes where the capital punishments are allowed, in those countries, they are even killed. Those criminals are even killed for such some major crime. But this violence is actually required so that the peace can be established in the country. We only have 5 minutes left. I think we can cover a few more verses, so let's go ahead. So we can now see what Arjuna is going to respond. Arjuna uvacha katham bhishmamaham sankhe dronam cha madhusudana ishubhi pratiyotsyami pujarhar sudana. Who wants to read the translation, please, for this one? Yeah, Mahendra Prabhu, please go ahead. And Shanti Mataji, you can read the next one. I can't hear you, Mahendra Prabhu. You are unmuted, but I'm not sure where your microphone is. Okay, we can't hear you, so I'll pass it on to Shanti Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship?
So Arjuna is actually trying to say that, oh Krishna, you are saying that this is weakness of my heart. But really, this is not the weakness of my heart. It is the magnanimity of my heart. Why? Because Bhishma and Drona, these are the people who are worthy of my worship. So one is my Pitamaha, or the great grandfather, and then Drona is my teacher. And these superiors, they should be worshipped. And they should not be actually killed with arrows. So why are you asking me to fight and kill them? And he's also suggesting that you are the killer of Madhu. He has used two names for addressing Krishna. He's saying you are Madhusudana and Arisudana. Madhusudana means, we have seen earlier that he's the killer of the demon Madhu. And Arisudana means he's the killer of enemies. So Arjuna is trying to tell him that, oh Krishna, you yourself, you are the killers of demon, and you are the killers of your enemies. But why are you asking me to kill my relatives? You are not killing your own teacher like Sandipani Muni, or your grandfather like Ugrasen. But you are asking me to kill my relatives. But he forgot that when Krishna, when it was required, Krishna killed his uncle, who was Kamsa. So it is not about whether he's a relative or not. If they are on the adharma side, then Krishna did not wait. Krishna did not actually say that, oh, Kamsa is my mama, he's my uncle, I cannot kill him. Shishupal, he was the cousin of Lord Krishna, but Shishupal was also killed, Kamsa was also killed. So, if the relatives are following the path of adharma, the kings cannot just spare them, saying that, oh, they are my relatives, that is fine, let me not kill them. No, they have to do their duty and punish them as well. We'll cover one more verse. Verse number 5. Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum bhaikshamapiha loke hatvartha kamanstu guru nihaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudira pradigdhan. Yeah, Vibhor Prabhu, please go ahead.
It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood.
Yeah, thank you, Vibhor Prabhu. So what Krishna is saying, sorry, Arjuna is saying here, that Shreyo bhoktum bhaikshamapiha loke. He's saying, instead of actually killing my superiors, it is better for me to live a life going to some forest somewhere and going to some villages and beg. So I don't want to live this sinful life of killing my superiors. Better that I actually I'll prefer the embarrassment of begging to people and live like that. So Bhishma and Drona, actually, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, he's saying in the beginning itself, he says that according to scriptural codes, a teacher who engages in an abominable action and has lost his sense of discrimination is fit to be abandoned. All right, Drona and Bhishma, they are his teachers or superiors. But if they have done some abominable action, for example, when Draupadi was Dushasana and Duryodhan and Karna, they were attempting to disrobe her in the assembly, Bhishma and Drona remained silent. And they have also somehow or the other become the part of adharma. So actually it was fine for Arjuna, even though Bhishma and Drona, because they have chosen the side of Duryodhana, and without killing them, it is not possible to set the win of dharma over adharma. So it was not possible to do that. So Arjuna will have to do his duty, and then he has to kill them somehow or the other and win the war. So that is why Arjuna is, even though he's giving various different reasons, Krishna is going to then come back and tell him what is right and what is wrong. I wanted to actually cover till verse number 10 today, but we have only covered 5 verses. But that's okay. We can continue from verse number 6, which is where this 5th reason that Arjuna gives is coming. So we will stop here today. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, Dimple Mataji, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, I have a question. Like when it has been said that the gurus and Pitama, they have been in the side of adharma, then why to wait till the war comes?
Oh, so you mean they should be killed immediately, huh?
No, like there's when they know that it's a sinful activity, then they have supported the wrong side. So why the Krishna is not punishing that time and it's waiting till everyone has to gather and this thing?
Yeah, this is again the question of karma that you're asking. So
Okay.
karma has a particular principle. Not all karmic reactions are given you immediately. And the reason is we may think that it would have been better if all the reactions I would have got now of all the karma that I'm doing, then I don't have to carry over some of the reactions in the future. But if there is a time gap, then it is actually better for us. Because many situations, if there is a time between the action and the reaction that we are getting, then it is possible that we can correct our ways. And if we correct our ways, then it is possible that we will not get the reaction, and we will be we will get some forgiveness for that activity that we have done. So even though there are some actions we get reaction immediately, but there are many actions for which there is a gap, or there is a time between the action and reaction, and it is actually good for us. It is not that we should actually expect that every action I should get reaction quickly. No, if we actually do that, we will be in trouble. It is better for us to actually get some time in between so that we can correct our ways, and then that way we can we will not get reaction for everything. Also, every pastime has a purpose in Krishna Leela, or whenever Krishna comes, he's actually performing pastimes, and there are purposes for that pastime. And this Draupadi's disrobing or attempted disrobing, which was happening, that pastime was trying to show to the world that there is only one protector that we can have. Now, Draupadi, she has 5 husbands, and they are so powerful that even just those 5, even just one Arjuna was enough for killing so many, like thousands and thousands of people he could kill. And he was so powerful that even Indra asked for his help when he required to kill a demon in Swargaloka. So with so many powerful husbands that she had, and there were so many powerful elders who were sitting there, but no one could protect her. And finally, she asked for protection from Lord Krishna, and Krishna protected her. So this pastime was trying to show that even if we have life insurance, we have medical insurance, we have so many other insurances, we have wealth, we have bank balance, we have so many people to help us, but finally, one person who can help us is Lord Krishna. So this is what we should actually seek protection from, and that is what the pastime was trying to highlight to us. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, Tripti.
I should, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I should apologize before asking this question if I am going to hurt somebody's feeling or your feeling, but it is.
No, don't worry.
Like when it is said, when we were talking about verse 2, 3, so direct worship to Lord Krishna. So why do we have idols of Swami Prabhupada, and why do we worship to them? Like, I know they are ways to go towards God, ultimate Godhead Supreme, but why do we do that? Why are we not?
Question. Good question. Actually, Srila Prabhupada is not Krishna, or the gurus are not Krishna as such, but they are the ones who are actually taking us towards Krishna. So when we are worshipping them, we are not worshipping them as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are actually showing our gratitude to them, and that is why we offer worship to them. But when we are worshipping them, it is again, they are taking that worship and passing it on to their guru, and then their guru is passing on to their guru, and the worship is thus passing on finally and reaches to Krishna himself. So there is, of course, one particular arti that we do, Guru Puja in the ISKCON temples, where Srila Prabhupada is worshipped like that. But all the other artis are directly given to the Supreme Lord Krishna. But every day, we actually remember that without Guru, we couldn't have approach. We wouldn't be able to approach Krishna. That is why we are showing that gratitude. And the arti that we actually sing at that time as well is to acknowledge that because of you, I am getting Krishna, or I am getting connected to Krishna. So again, nowhere in the arti as well, we are referring to him as that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead or anything like that. But we always say that you are the one who's connecting me to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And without you, I would have been actually just remained in this material world, and my eyes wouldn't have opened. He's giving the eyes, Chakshudan, he's giving to us, by which we are able to realize that we are not this body, but the spirit soul, and we are the servant of the Supreme Lord. And you are somehow or the other giving us the way by which we can worship. Because even if we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I am his servant, but we still don't know that how to serve the Supreme Lord. So the Guru also gives that that process. Guru gives us three things. They are called Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Sambandha means he actually establishes that connection. He tells us that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are a Jiva, you are part and parcel of the Lord, and you are connected to him. You are part and parcel. You are the servant, he is the master. So that is Sambandha. Prayojana means that what is the ultimate goal that we should have in human life? And he explains that we should serve the Supreme Lord, and we should actually develop the love of God, love for Krishna in this lifetime. But then, even after understanding this, we do not know how to actually, we are here. This is the goal that we want to achieve. How can I actually go from here to there? And that is the path of Abhideya. They explain what is the process that we have to follow to go from where we are to where we want to go. And to acknowledge all of that, the Guru is giving us, we actually worship them. But again, that worship is just to acknowledge. It is not to say that they are the Supreme. The problem, and Krishna mentions in the 7th and 9th chapter, as I was mentioning earlier, the problem is when we are actually worshipping Devi Devatas, most of the worship happens as if they are the ones who are supreme. And when we actually worship like that, that is the problem we have to address. If we worship the Devi Devatas as they are the servant of the Supreme Lord, that is okay. Okay? Fine. Any other questions or comments? If not, then who can summarize what we have learned today? Any points that you want to mention, what we have heard today? Okay, come on, we are running out of time. Who wants to summarize?
Prabhu, Krishna is Bhagwan.
Yeah, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
He has six opulences.
Very good.
Aishwarya, Veer, Yash, Shri, Gyan, and renunciation.
Okay. Anyone else wants to mention? Any other points?
Definition of God, Prabhu.
Yes.
So he's got 4 other opulences, which is one is the source of everything. He's the source of everything. He's the supreme proprietor. He's the supreme controller, and he's a supreme enjoyer. So that's the definition of God, Bhagavan.
Okay, very good. Sevagraj Prabhu Kalakli Mataji. You're on mute.
Real compassion is for the eternal soul, and that is self-realization.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, very good. Sudananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. When there are doubts that need to be get clarified as soon as possible, otherwise they will blow up like a balloon and get burst.
Yeah, that's very good. Excellent. Sona.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So Lord Krishna was cheering up Arjuna to fight for the violence. The reason was if we apply the violence appropriately, it can be used to establish peace. And the example what we have given was soldier and police.
Yeah. Is that Gita Mataji?
Hare Krishna, yes. Prabhu.
Yes, okay, fine. Okay, good, very good. Okay, any other points that you want to cover before we close?
Prabhu, Krishna is Madhusudan.
Yeah.
He killed the demons Madhu. Then we call Madhusudan. Arisudan, Madhusudan.
Yes. Very good. Okay, fine. Let us finish here, and we will start next week from verse number 6. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Tando Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.